Buddy, welcome to Mystics MMOs. I'm your host, Mystic Raven. Alright, up and at 'em. Let's do this. Alright, so I'm leveling the Paladin. Um, got a couple things to do. I'm still trying to, healer. Okay, wait a minute. Actually, I'm going to take that opportunity and I'm going to go with my White Mage real quick. Because I am trying to level. And I'll get that nice little bonus. We'll take advantage of it. I need to do a main scenario too. I'm trying to level, farm, irregular tombstones, all sorts of stuff. Okay, we're going to get our food booth on first. Wait for the cutscene. Apply. There's still a lot of new players in the game, which it seems like the game just keeps growing and growing, which is a good thing. I'm pretty happy about that. Alright. Now, somehow I ended up turning on the sound on here. I don't know how I did that. But, like, there's notifications, like, on the side of my windows for sounds. I don't know if I like it or not, but... Oh, but that was still on. I think I get my AoE soon, too. If I haven't... Oh, snap. Okay, I'm going to run to the tank. Crazy that all these sound effects are just coming on this. I don't know how I did that. Oh, I might have to like switch all that stuff around. Morning, Irish. Coffee. Got it. I don't know if I like this little green thing. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's like on the side. It's like any kind of effect. I think it's an alert system that I turned on by accident yesterday when I was messing around. I try to do it because I'm kind of colorblind, so at least I think it's supposed to help me with notifications. I don't know. Nope, I already did that one on that tune. All right. I can't wait for this new Lily system, to be honest. Boy, that gets really big. I think I'm going to turn that off. Let's reduce cost. Got to pay attention to those procs. Top them off, reapply the dot. Look at that. Mystic knows what he's doing. We're all good. Orin, morning, need more coffee. Everybody's on the coffee. I'm almost done. I have to get a refill, I think. I've been having really bad sinus headaches. I mean, my sinuses are terrible. And on the right side, it's like clogged. And I'm like, God, this year's just so sucky, man. Oh, I didn't need to do that one. Hell yeah. I wish they would really give White Mage a buff. Like, something really cool with the lilies would have been cool. Like, not only heal, but like buffing. Like a buff. Like, it would have been like really awesome, man. Like, not like, could have kept it separate from like AST. I still like AST. Keeps you busy, but I don't know how the new card system's gonna work. Like a mana shift would have been good also for White Mage. I agree with Mr. Happy on that. Like Mr. Happy was talking, like, given the fact that White Mage can sustain really good, maybe give it a, like support abilities like mana shift or something. Oh, he's going all in. He's like, I'm gonna pull them all. Go ahead, dude. Go for it. And I hate the pose for the White Mage. Getting that reduced. Oh yeah, we're gonna take advantage of him. Top it off. All right. White Mage was never my thing. Yeah. White Mage is, it's definitely unique, I guess. I think Scholar, I like Scholar and AST because it's the way it plays. I mean, I appreciate White Mage, and I really do. I'm not saying White Mage is a bad healer by any means. Keep me the... Dude, you gotta keep moving. Ah, shit. Don't. Got him. Got it. Got her. All right. Yeah, baby. I focused on my tank and DPS when I played. Yeah, tanking, you know, you can level tanks pretty fast in this game. Like, really fast. I'm just trying to get my White Mage 270. I don't anticipate, like, being primary healer with it. I think I love this water. I'm anticipating AST. Never know. I mean, depending... I'll be leveling my Scholar anyways because of my Summoner. Why is that not... I have to check that. A mouse over should be firing. But I don't... I think my mouse over is messed up on that one or for something. Friggin' blowfish. Nope. Don't need that one. Cancel it out. All right. Oops. Hell yeah. Last boss. Let's keep this gravy train rolling. I've got to like get this asylum macroed just so it targets and lays. I thought I did, but I don't. But I definitely got to get it macroed for a quick lay. Poof. I don't mind targeting and whatever, but definitely can be a little bit of a pain in the booty. Yeah, I'll get the protect to the samurai. Not that I'm worried about it, but... Turn. Turn. Oh my god. Oh, turn. Okay. Don't stack it near me. Just kill the things. Turn. Bingo. Bingo, baby. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I think the tank did a good job. Good shit. Roz, what's up? Try Blue Mage? I have. I have not leveled him up very much. That's what I love about Final Fantasy XIV over WoW. The mechanics in AoEs are easy to see and react to. Yeah, definitely. Level 27. Oh, I posted the Daybreak dev forum. What the devs need to explore next in episode 35 and 36. I posted it on your YouTube channel. Oh, okay. I won't sub until I reach free to play endgame. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. You'll get so far, but you have to have the DLCs to get to the end game. So that's why way I have a little bit of money saved. Oh, got you. So you're saving until you get to the point where you need this. Oh, got you, got you. I'm like, you have to. Unfortunately, you have to like get progression. So my subscription is being funded by my paychecks. Got you, got you, got you, got you, got you, got you. Yeah, it's not too bad. I'm not doing too shabby. I think I got to turn that off, that notification system. It's just, I don't know if I like it or not. You know, I think it's this one. Hello? Yeah, it's that one. I don't know if I liked it. I was like, I don't know. Yeah, it's crazy. All right, so we're gonna switch it up. All right, we're gonna clear out that one. I think I've done all the other ones except, you know, oh, DPS normal roulette. Actually, yeah, let me get on that with my Dragoon. Yeah, absolutely. I'm still trying to level this dude too. I've been staying busy. Yeah, that's what I mean. Free to play end game. Gotcha. Yeah. I need to go get some more coffee here in a little bit too. So we got less than 5-minute wait. Oh, I gotta get my retainers. I don't like the necessarily running with how they have the animation for running with this, but everything else usually running system looks good. The swords always look good. Tanks look good when they're running. Instead of two hands, you'd think you'd have it one hand and just kind of like pulled up. Ow. Dang sinuses, man. All right. I don't need any of that one. I just checked that one. Yeah. That's what I need to be sent out on. All right. Looks good. Tier 3 CR 160. Yeah, you can get up to typically around 160 CR without, before you have to do anything. It's around 160, your combat rating. And then it's like, from there at that point on. And there are perks to the sub versus buying the DLCs. DLCs you'll own for life, that's true. But you do get, Daybreak Cash. And you can save that up and purchase the DLCs after, or you can use that to get other, shop items, market items. So I've always like subbed, played, got like stuff that I needed with, what I call an allowance, or my Daybreak Cash. Or I'll always wait and I'll bank it up until it goes like your, you know, um, oh, things go on sale that I need, to be able to switch roles and builds and stuff like that. Like in this game, like I do a sub. I love my sub account in this game because I'm always getting like good quality um, content. And even though I don't get like, a sub, they don't push microtransactions in this game. They have them, but we don't get like spammed to death with them. It's optional items and stuff like more cosmetics and more like, convenience type shit. Like I don't want to level another tune, so I'm going to like skip it up to 60 or something. There's that type of stuff. I don't do that. I find leveling easy because, you know, it is time consuming. So for somebody who might only have 3 or 4 hours, that might be appealing. But I find like most of the time that I can put in, I don't know, 4 to 5 hours and get it up to a like 30, then another 2 hours, get it up to another 10 levels. So that's why I play the games. I don't play necessarily to, you know, have to always play keep up, but a lot of people, their time's restricted, so they prefer to say, okay, hey, I only have X amount of time. I want this tune, that tune, and this tune. I'll go to the item shop and get it, to be able to pop it, which is cool. You know, there is some point, so long as it doesn't like. I always feel like so long as you don't like, they don't cap it. Like I don't like it when a game company puts in the cap and like players never like get to learn anything about progression. Like, What's the point of playing a game if you can just buy end game gear and cap, total cap? Like, a lot of people will always frown on, like, oh, there's only a 10 level difference. Well, that's 10 levels that you still have to play through, and you still have to acquire gear. So if it's cutting out all that downtime to level, I'm for that. I don't have a problem with that. I don't like loot boxes, though. I don't typically like RNG based gambling systems. Heck, I even sent them a video of a full playthrough of Injustice 1 for them to use as they make the quest line. Yeah, but the thing about it is, you got to understand DCUO is an alternate universe of the DC. It's like there's everything in DCUO and versus Injustice and everything else, they're in alternate universes, so the story can change. So it's the multiverse. And then, of course, that's why you have calculator and things like that, and you know all of these other villains. Like the anti-life equation, things like that. But the way that timeline goes, Lex Luthor killed Superman originally in his timeline. He came back, if you watch the opening, and he's trying to stop Brainiac, and then it reset that timeline, right? So that timeline got affected, like everything. So typically now there's two Lex Luthors running amok in that timeline. And then there was the whole paradox wave, and then there was the Flash, right? Which had a lot to do, had like some minor references to Flashpoint. So there's a lot of backstory to that. There's a lot of backstory in DCUO, what's going on in that universe. And even though they summarize it, they do a good job typically keeping it cohesive. The last two or about three DLCs, I would say, has kind of gone astray from the progression story, because I think ever since, like, after Apocalypse, or yeah, Apocalypse, everything's kind of muddled. It's been like just add content. You know, uh, Themyscira was a really good storyline. It really did, set a lot of, pacing for progression and, story cohesiveness. But there's been, a lot of things. That's why I always played it, not only just because of the combat, because it did have an alternate spin to the DC Universe story, and I appreciated what it was bringing. Now I do have my allowances up over here, so I got 24 crafting allowances. So I will be doing my leaves. So I'm getting ready to, craft up bloody lance heads, or you. That's what my reward is. My U longbow. So I'll be crafting a bunch of those today and leveling up my woodworking. So I'll have that to 50 today, about 51 possibly. And then I'll be working on my next one down, which is like leatherworking. So I got alchemy and culinary pretty good. And then just keeping this up as my allowances, reset. And then I'll be mining, doing my botany, my fishing, things like that. I need to finish leveling my fishing, because my retainer's almost 54 already, and he can't progress unless I do. Doomsday, yeah. Yeah, but they actually went to Apocalypse, or that's the planet he lives on, right? I want to say. Um, but yeah, they went there and all of that. It was really cool. It was a good storyline, good story arc. I always like Doomsday because he has that Omega symbol on his belt. I think it's on his belt, and it's like the Omega beam. You cannot escape my Omega beam. I'm like, oh shit, we're dead. Morning, Scott. What's up? Crafting feels so rewarding in Final Fantasy 14. Is definitely viable. I like it. There's so much in it, though. It's like sometimes I feel like it's overwhelming, but it is good. How you doing, man? You enjoying vacation, Scott? I'm trying to get this queue, man. It just keeps pushing back. Ugh. Ow. My sinuses are so goddamn bad, man. I have like this worst sinus problems, and it's on the right side. Oh, nice. I'm banking the crafting shit altogether. Like, frig, yeah, boy. Oh, that reminds me. So, yeah, I'm trying to get the rest of the irregular tombstones. I'm trying to get that lantern mount. I did end up getting my little Ifrit mount, which was cool. I don't like, I like the animation, the footsteps and stuff, but the horse itself is what I typically have a problem with. Like, it's only what is it? Like the mechanical horse mounts that I appreciate. I like the Griffin look. I like the new mount coming out. I really like that. Most of the flying mounts in this game I actually like. Majority of them. Oh man, City of Heroes Homecoming is exploding with people. Oh yeah, dude. And that reminds me, I want to give a shout out. I know Styx doesn't probably watch this, but Styx has been playing him and his wife have been playing Final Fantasy 14 very heavy. They're getting ready for Shadowbringer launch. They did a video yesterday. I would recommend anybody to go check it out. And he was like talking about Final Fantasy and, a good time to be a part of it. And I agree with it. I liked this video. He's not in the same server, but I was like, hell yeah, man. I totally agree. Like, right now is a good time to be playing this game. But, like, then he did a video, and this is why your comment, he did a video talking the last week about City of Heroes and what it means to players. And I really appreciate that about MMO Bytes and Styx and them and his sister. They've been doing this for a long time. Injustice story was probably the best storyline in my opinion. I suggest everyone read it. Doesn't hurt to have what if DLC. Injustice needs to be introduced to DCUO. It won't. That's what I'm trying to tell you, man. I mean, I get it, but if they do it, it'll be altered. So because DC, like I said, DCUO came out with its own arc, its own story arc, because of the whole way everything got introduced to the DCUO universe. because of Lex Luthor succeeding in destroying Superman, and then Brainiac invasion. So it completely like set up everything in a different timeline where he's trying to stop it. He's trying to stop Brainiac, which they do, but then he's trying to get access to like there's the Council of Luthor, the Council of Batman, like I said, the Paradox Wave. There's a lot of elements that like set DCUO apart from its comics. Like it's still the same characters, there's still same backstories, there's still relationships, but it's kind of like the Legends in the CW. How every time they mess with something, something changes in the timeline, and that's what DCUO is. DCUO is an alternate timeline. So things progress differently in DCUO based on the story arc and what's already happened. And that's why I played it, because I liked their approach to it. Oh. Man, can I get a Q? And the villain character can side with evil Superman. That'd be badass. True. I don't mind it being altered. Yeah, they actually had they implemented a couple of things from other comics. So they already have like Ultraman. They implemented the Syndicate. So the Syndicate is part of like that's a whole different like part of the DC, but they added that. Like the Syndicate is in DCUO. You'll play against the Syndicate and Ultraman and all that. And Owlman and all that. Yeah. That can be the hardest thing to understand in comics is the alternate universes in both DC and Marvel. Right. And that's the thing. That's what they did with DCUO. They, had an alternate universe, and because of what Lex Luthor did, so it literally, but they took some of the things that were canon, introduced canon material, and altered canon. So we had familiarity with the storyline, what initially started everything, but like Flashpoint. Flashpoint in DCUO is very brief, but it's relative because it sets up Paradox later. And like I know like a lot of players coming in, they might not play Flashpoint. Like, they might not get into that story like, with the Flash and Central City and go there and understand, the ruptures, the initial cause of the ruptures. You don't actually get to see Barry Allen travel back in time, but it's the references that's like start the whole paradox wave, and then Lex Luthor um, trying to gain access to the nexus of reality, right? And then creating his own ideal, scenario. And then, of course, to help assist them, he's using the other, parallel universes to establish the Council of Luthor. And then, of course, Batman has to counter this, so he does the same thing to, counter that reaction. Because future Batman's chasing Lex Luthor, and modern day Batman has to form, So it's crazy, man. It is nuts. Like that whole story arc. I only got one crash in a week playing it and several lag spikes. And I also think they need to include Darkseid. They have Darkseid. Yeah. Darkseid is in DCUO. That's why I said Apocalypse. There's a DLC called Apocalypse, I think, and you play against Darkseid, and then because you go to Apocalypse. That's why I said they have a bunch of canon stuff in DCUO. The thing about it is you literally have to play through it, and it's briefly mentioned, and you have to like kind of piece everything together, which is kind of weird. But that's why I've always played DC. DC's always been my to-go-to game because the combat was really good. It had strong combat features, even in today's standards. Like, there's a lot of games that can't keep up with what DC initially implemented. And so DC has this really good, you know, the power sets, and then they add, accessible content, and then they put a nice little twist to the canon material we grew up with. So we're familiar with not only the characters, but the initial stories that they implement, and then they twist it. Then they put twist to it. So, like Orm's invasion on on Atlantis is in there. It's a lot of points, man. But it's like I said, it all has a twist. And instead of like, you know, I'm pretty excited about the new phase of Marvel movies coming out. Yeah, I think they mentioned Galactus too. Somebody said, I think, like Galactus has been pointed out as the potential antagonist. I was like, really? I'm like, but that's the thing. Like, once you go to Galactus, what do you do after that? And now, what Friday is Phoenix? We get the Phoenix drop this Friday. I wanted the Gambit movie. I'm a Gambit fan, so, and that still hasn't came out. So my wife was talking about that yesterday. She's like, Did they scrub that Gambit movie?" I'm like, "I have no idea, honey." She's like, "You've been waiting for that for like a couple years now," and I'm like, "Yeah, fuck if I know." If I wanted to see any origin movie, it was probably Gambit. Like, I want to see Gambit origin, like to show the complexity of Gambit, and then basically, even if they go towards like the Four Horsemen, like how he even joined, he was a part of the Four Horsemen at one time. That would be really cool. There's a lot of elements to Gambit that I really wish they would just put out there. Internals are coming. Deadpool 3, Venom 2. Yeah, that is pretty cool. Actually, one of the Deadpool writers was following me on Twitter at one time. I don't know if he still is. Yeah, yeah. Regardless of whether they alter it or not, Injustice must be in DCUO. I don't know, man. Injustice has like a whole different like development story though. So my question of it is, how do you implement it? Like, I mean, I guess you could literally like have an alternate, like, like where you go to an alternate reality, like you typically do. Like, imagine Barry Allen and using time travel or or multiverse, and then you are exposed to that story arc. That would be kind of way they could do it. I've been in its queue for 20 something minutes. Oh my god. But yeah, regardless of whether they alter it or not, yeah, they tweak it. They put a twist to it. if they execute it perfectly, it would increase their revenue substantially. Yeah, that's the one thing. Like I said, I mean, everything about DCUO, and that's why I get a little depressed because they do have a good combat system. They have a good progression system. It's sometimes a little too fast, in my opinion, but it have if they were to have a little bit more content and progression content, like chain questing, they could implement, you know, more story. And I agree. That's what would draw players into that universe more and more. Is the way they do their story arcs, and that's what I feel like sometimes DC UO needs a little bit more. You know, they need a little bit more staff to implement those things. I mean, I agree they need, you know, more staff for other things too, like PvP, but at this point in time, to sustain and retain and to grow, it needs to work on what DC fans are about, and that's about the characters. That's about the story. Oh, finally. Like the Dark Knight series. Like my friend was into the Dark Knight series when it came out. I didn't get into it. I like classic Batman. I think when I was younger, like like the reboot of classic, not like 60s version Batman, but like classic reboot. And I really like that. The way they did Batman. And I wasn't into the whole Dark Knight, series, which came out shortly, a couple years after the reboot. And he was into it, and I was like, well, this is an interesting twist. But he was totally into it, like how Batman, like, just was like, fuck it. I was like, oh my god, crazy. I'm like, they kind of really did make him more of a vigilante in that series, in my opinion. I like I said, I didn't get into it. Like my wife's like, did you ever like have comics? And I'm like, yeah, I'd read them and then I'd just sell them and whatever. I wasn't a collector of comics. Marvel was the biggest one I was into. Like weeklies, I would go to like the little gas stations or whatever, pick up the new issues, read them. And then, my friends were like, you got that? I'll buy it off you for, and it was like, I could save, they'd save like 50 cents or something, and I'd be able to get my money back, buy the next copy. That's probably why I didn't get into it. So I never really lost a lot of money. And of course, because I did that, I missed out on a lot too. So there were a lot of issues of a lot of things I didn't get like in on. good. That was good uptime, man. I kept that bitch up all the entire time. You can't slack on rotations. Can't slack on rotations. They need to improve open world stuff in DCUO. I agree, Scott, 100%. You go to that timeline to put a stop to Evil Superman. That's what I was saying. Oh, yeah, I know. I agree. Like, yeah. So they, like, I could see it, like, in that essence, right? Like, you know, you make something that, right, that you have to go to. Edward Guy from Twilight's supposed to be the new Batman. Oh, really? Oh, great. Future Batman sends you to the Injustice timeline to stop future Batman, who went mad after the Joker drugged him, causing him to kill Lois in setting of a nuke. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. It would definitely spice things up, for sure. All right. So we got that. And then I'm not going to bore you guys with the main scenario because I'm probably going to do that on my tank once it reboots or whatever. Or I might even do it on my healer, but you guys definitely don't want to get bored with that one. That one is a drag out for sure. But yeah, everything's been coming along. I'm pretty stoked. I feel like I'll get there. Dragoon is going to be the push. DPS classes are always the pain in the butt. To try to get those queues faster. If you're a tank or a healer, you're kind of in. But DPS is a little bit more time consuming. But I'm glad I actually got the DPS classes that I wanted initially. But support DPSs I'm going to have to work on. So that's my only qualm. And they can include Injustice like that. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. The question of it is, will they do it? How will they twist it? So, and lately they've been kind of following what Warner Brothers has been laying out for them. So Warner Brothers, anytime there's movies or things that's been coming out, DCUO's having to pay a little bit more attention to that content to kind of keep, the players, interested in that whole thing. Well, I got to get a new haircut. Bye. You take care, Roz, man. Well, Scott, Oren, Irish, Roz, thank you all for stopping in today. I appreciate it so much. Thank you, guys. I'm going to take a break, and then I'm going to do this, main quest scenario. I'm not going to bore you guys with that. Then I'll be back later this afternoon. Once again, thank you guys so much. Thank you for this continued support. I appreciate it. Shadowbringers is right around the corner. I'm getting ready. I'm pumped. Let's do this. All right, once again, I'm Mystic Raven. This is Mystics MMOs. As always, thank you. Have a nice day.